So like many other Minecraft fans, lately I've been binge watching the Dream SMP server. There's so much to get into, whether it's the non-lore streams, the lore and story of the server, or just the individual personalities. Out of every member on the server, my all-time favorite has to be Techno. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of new footage due to, spoiler alert, Techno being trapped in the prison with Dream. So I've been going back over some old Techno Dream SMP videos in the meantime. Out of all the clips, my favorite has to be the festival. The festival was just total organized chaos and I absolutely loved it. But throughout the whole event, I had one question. When Fundy trapped Techno inside the dunk tank, I wondered, if Techno were mortal, how long could he last inside? And for those of you thinking Techno isn't immortal, we all know the phrase.
I drop-kicked that child in self-defense.
Wait, wrong line.
Not even close, baby! TECHNOBLADE never dies!
So let's dive into the science experiment. To start off, we first have to analyze the supplies that were available for TECHNOBLADE in the dunk tank. If we go back over the VOD of the festival stream on youtube.com/technoblade, link in the description, we can start to get an idea of the materials that we have to work with. Let's take a look at the armor. As you can see from the screenshots, Techno basically has fully enchanted netherite armor here, only lacking a few enchants that wouldn't really affect this project. So let's copy this armor and run some calculations. As shown by the armor, we have the most important enchant for the project, which would be Respiration 3. We also have Protection 4, which according to the wiki shouldn't help, but certainly seems to make a difference. The wiki states that the Respiration enchant gives us an extra 15 seconds of oxygen per enchantment level. What the wiki doesn't tell you is that Respiration also increases the time between damage ticks from drowning. With Respiration 3, the time between each damage tick is raised to approximately 3 seconds. Along with Respiration 3, Protection 4, as mentioned before, also seems to make a difference. Protection 4 on his armor seems to lower the damage from somewhere between half and a full heart to half or no damage at all. So what exactly does all this mean? Well, let's do a side-by-side comparison test, starting underwater with no helmet, compared to Respiration 3 helmet, and then a Respiration 3 helmet with Protection 4. As you can see, the Respiration 3 helmet greatly increases the time before drowning, but the protection also results in less damage, causing a later death overall. So from this info, we now have a baseline of how long we can survive underwater with max enchanted gear. But after running the calculations, if we run a couple tests to check the theories, you'll notice that we get very inconsistent data results. Usually in a scientific test, this would be worrisome, but there's an answer. Hidden within the wiki, there's one short line of text that solves our dilemma. The wiki states that Respiration also grants a chance of not taking drowning damage each second by the result of the formula shown on screen. So with every damage tick, since we have Respiration 3, the equation now becomes 3 divided by the quantity of 3 plus 1. Therefore, every damage tick, we only have a 25% chance of taking damage. That being said, there's no exact amount of time we can survive, so to make it as accurate as possible, we will take our final total hearts and multiply that by 4 to give us the average of 25% damage. So now we know exactly how long Techno has with 10 full hearts, and to get regeneration we have to eat food. So let's look back into Techno's inventory real quick. As we can see here, Techno's got quite a bit of food, but what exactly are we going to do with these numbers? Well, the regeneration from hunger works in a pretty complex way. As most Minecraft players know, Minecraft has a slightly hidden feature known as saturation. Every food in the game grants a given amount of saturation. The saturation level of the player is basically a hidden hunger bar that goes over top your normal hunger bar. What most players don't know is the fact there is something deeper than that. According to the wiki, there is an even more hidden feature known as exhaustion. Exhaustion is a measurement of the different actions that you perform that lead to you losing hunger. Exhaustion has a total of 4 levels, and once all 4 of those levels are used up, 1 saturation or 1 hunger is taken. To regenerate half a heart, it takes 6 exhaustion levels, which is equivalent to 1.5 saturation or hunger. So now that we have all this knowledge, let's talk natural regeneration. Since originally writing the script to this video, I've gone through several different theories of testing to try and find the best way to calculate a formula to translate food into hearts regenerated, most of which resulted in failure. The first several ideas revolved around me doing the math that would be involved in the game's code, since that's how it should run, right? Well, since we know all the basics about hunger, saturation, and exhaustion, I used the basic formula to calculate the amount of regeneration from a certain food. After testing the calculations, I found many inconsistencies. Sometimes the player would regenerate an extra heart without having nearly enough exhaustion, resulting in a difference of overall anywhere from 2 hearts below the expected number to 5 hearts above. So I decided to brute force every food item, trying to find the pattern of inconsistencies, and this is what I found. Starting off, we must understand that when eating food, we want to wait until we are missing 1.5 hunger bars, or 3 hunger. The reason for this is because this is the lowest our hunger will naturally drop without moving around too much. This will ensure that we get the largest amount of hunger granted from the food we are eating. Here's the list of every food item, how many were in Techno's inventory, and how many half hearts they will regenerate. We want to calculate in half hearts because that's how much each tick of drowning damage will deal. I've left golden apples off this list for a reason I will go into shortly. With these numbers, we can take the total amount of half hearts regenerated and multiply it by 3 seconds, or the time it takes to lose half a heart from drowning. Now let's talk about why golden apples were left off the list. Golden apples work the same as the other foods when it comes to hunger and saturation, but there are 2 unique aspects about this food. Golden apples give regeneration for a very short time and also grant absorption hearts. So how do these affect hunger and the regen effects of saturation? Absorption hearts act strangely when it comes to natural regen. Absorption hearts don't regenerate, which also means they don't consume saturation or hunger. So essentially we're given extra hearts with no repercussions. The regeneration effect similarly gives us 2 free hearts in regeneration, but to get the most efficient regeneration, it is best to wait until we have 3 hearts remaining to eat the golden apples. This lets us gain the 2 hearts from the regeneration on top of the natural regeneration. Total, this gives us an extra 95 hearts of regen, but we also have to keep in mind the absorption. Each golden apple gives us 2 absorption hearts, so on top of that regeneration, the 15 apples also grant a bonus 30 hearts. So now we know all the potential aspects of Techno's inventory relating to food. However, he does have a few potions. The 2 in question that will help us here are regeneration potions. These are both regen 1, lasting for 1:30 each. This gives us an extra 3 minutes of not relying on hunger. So in total, we're sitting on the 60 seconds of oxygen before we start drowning. All the food combined adds to 3,003 seconds and another 180 seconds from the regeneration potions. When we add all that together, we get 3,243 seconds, or 54 minutes and 2 seconds. So you're probably thinking right now, that's an insane amount of time for Techno to survive, but what if I told you that he could last longer? Since we're playing in Minecraft 1.16, Techno is able to start a fast swim, which allows him to shrink his hitbox to 1 block tall. With this technique, we can use the extra space that we now have to place something useful. If we go back and look into Techno's inventory, we see one very special block that blows open the potential of this project, the Ender Chest. Inside Techno's Ender Chest, there are a few items that'll help us. First off, there's an extra 154 steak, 31 extra golden apples, and 4 enchanted golden apples. So let's get back to doing a bit of math. We can plug the steak into the original formula, along with the normal golden apples. The steaks give us an extra 1,643 half hearts, and the normal golden apples give 393 half hearts of regeneration, and another 124 half hearts with absorption. So now let's talk about enchanted golden apples. Testing these was kind of difficult, and I'm not 100% positive that I found the most efficient way of consuming them. So if you'd like to discuss this, I'll be taking suggestions in the comments. With enchanted golden apples, I found that you could consume them like normal food when you first lose 3 hunger. The only issue with this is that you'll not receive the full benefits of the regeneration, but will get the benefits of the saturation. The other option was to drop down to half heart and use more regeneration. And when we take this route, it's hard to exactly tell how many hearts are regenerated by the regen effect, because natural regeneration also kicks in. Because of this, I decided to use the first method, since it was easier to track. I believe they resulted in very similar outcomes, but like I said, if you decide to test it and find something different, feel free to let me know in the comments. In total, the regeneration lasts 20 seconds. To calculate how it will help us, we take that 20 seconds and divide it by 3, since we're losing half a heart approximately every 3 seconds. After rounding down, we have 6 half hearts or 3 full hearts that will be regenerated. We can take this, along with the math used for the normal golden apples, since they grant the same amount of saturation, to get 41 total half hearts regenerated from the 4 enchanted golden apples. On top of that, we're also granted another 64 half hearts from absorption. So now, we can take our original time in seconds, which was 3,243, and add the extra steak and golden apples this time, which is 2,265 seconds, and get a total of 5,508 seconds, or 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 48 seconds. Now, an hour and a half is pretty crazy, but what if I told you we can take it one step further? Remember earlier when I mentioned Techno's armor and how Respiration 3 gave us only a 25% chance of taking damage? So no matter what, Techno will at least survive an hour, 31 minutes, and 48 seconds, but if we take the average of the chance Techno doesn't take damage, we can take our 5,508 seconds and multiply it by 4, since it's a 1 in 4 chance that we take damage. With this math, on average, Techno would survive 22,032 seconds, or 6 hours, 7 minutes, and 12 seconds. Like I said, this is just an average, so theoretically, Techno could live a lot longer than this. Obviously, since it is TECHNOBLADE we're talking about, he'd never drown because
TECHNOBLADE never dies!
Overall, it's insane to think about the fact that Techno could survive so long in a little tank. The Dream SMP is full of all sorts of crazy details, and now you can add this one to the random facts that you know. This video took me quite a while to put together, and it was a project that has been in the works for almost a month, so if you enjoyed it or even learned anything, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, since I already have 2 other Dream SMP, or mainly TECHNOBLADE in the Dream SMP, videos in the work. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. See you guys.
Thank you.